People across the nation are celebrating Gay Pride Day today, even as many lament a lack of progress on gay rights issues in Washington. An Associated Press article says the president's approach to gay rights has been incremental, and it reads in part, quote, instead of the sweeping changes gays and lesbians had sought, a piece-by-piece approach has been the administration's favored strategy, drawing neither serious fire from conservatives nor lavish praise from activists. I'm joined now live by Richard Socarides, and Richard is a former advisor to President Clinton as well as a Democratic strategist. Good morning, Richard.
Hi, Alex.
I know that you wrote in the Wall Street Journal on Friday about all of this, and what's the message of your article and what you want to say to the president?
Well, I wrote the piece in the Wall Street Journal on Friday in an effort to get the president to act more boldly on gay rights and more in keeping with the promises he made during the campaign. You know, we elected him because we thought he would be a leader on equality for gays and lesbians and lead us into the future, and the future is now. Things are changing very rapidly. I talk in my piece about the fact that everybody now from Laura Bush to Meghan McCain to Dick Cheney and Bill Clinton and Al Gore have all come around and said that gay people ought to be allowed to get married, and that is our #1 issue. And the president, of course, still supports civil unions and says he's for full equality, but we'd like him to move especially on this.
Are there incremental issues on which the president has met your expectations?
You know, he's done a lot, and he's probably done more than any other president so far, but of course, you know, it's he doesn't have a lot of competition except perhaps for Bill Clinton in that category. And he's made some significant announcements, and he's made an effort around Don't Ask, Don't Tell. But of course, we think that he could have ended the Don't Ask, Don't Tell discharges right away, and in fact, the military has been allowed to stall on this, even though over almost 80% of the American public now support open military service by gays and lesbians.
Can you acknowledge the president has an extremely full plate right now? I mean, we have the economy, which applies to all Americans, gay and otherwise, and all Americans, gay and otherwise, are certainly upset by the oil spill and the issue of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan currently underway. Does that at least give you some consolation that perhaps the president's heart is in the right place, but the practicality of what he's got time to handle may not be there?
It does. I would say two things. First of all, you know, I served in the White House on President Clinton's staff, and so I appreciate that it can be a very busy place and it's hard to get stuff done. But I don't buy into that notion that you can only do so many things. I mean, you're the man is the president. He can put somebody in charge of it and have them run with it, #1. And #2 is I think that this glass half empty, half full equation is not really smart. I mean, you're either fully equal or you're not. You know, when it comes to basic fundamental issues that we, you know, are so important to us in America, like full equality, you're either equal or you're not. You can't sort of do half empty, half full. So I think he could push much harder on a lot of issues.
What do you think the president needs to accomplish, realistically speaking, for him to maintain the lesbian, gay, transgender support that he has had with his last election when you look ahead to 2012?
Well, I think before he runs for re-election in 2012, he has to come out for marriage equality. Ted Olson is prosecuting this case in California, which a lot has been written about, which is going to go to the U.S. Supreme Court probably before the president's re-election. And I think the president has to be on the right side of history on that. I mean, elected officials everywhere are moving, and he needs to be with us on that.
Okay. Well, I understand you're going to go to the Gay Pride Parade in New York today.
Right after I leave you.
You say it's the biggest one. San Francisco might challenge you with it, but
New
you think
York
it really
is the biggest one, and we're going to march with Mayor Bloomberg, a Republican independent, and we're going to march with Senator Gillibrand and Senator Schumer and Governor Patterson, all of whom support marriage equality here in New York State.
Okay, well, enjoy the parade. It's always quite a spectacle and a lot of fun to watch,
It is a lot
to be
of fun.
perfectly honest. Richard Socarides, thank you.
Thanks, Alex.